your eyes off me. Wanna tell you that I'm sorry for the pain that I've caused.
Marcus J. Ain't No Half Steppin'. We're back. Took a very, 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 very brief break, but we're back. Thank you for everybody that hung in there with us. We went a little long on the sports segment, but of course it was necessary. We had to talk about the playoffs and the flopping. It's a lot of nonsense going on with that, so we definitely had to give K-Dub an opportunity to get that last piece out. We're going to start this segment, as we do every single week, by talking about a missing and/or exploited child. Today we are going to talk about Lenny Kane III. Lenny Kane III is a 12-year-old boy from York County, Virginia. I don't know if there's any Amber Alerts that have been put out there, but young Lenny has been missing very, very briefly. I don't have the actual details of his disappearance available to me, but what I can tell you, Lenny Kane III, 12-year-old boy, was last seen in the front yard of his home on Big Bethel Road in the Tab area of York County. Lenny goes by Trey. He's 5'3", weighs 90 pounds, and was last seen wearing a blue and gray horizontal striped polo shirt, navy jean shorts with cargo pockets on the side, possibly with no shoes on. Despite searches by sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and Hampton police K-9 units, no one knows where he is. Anyone with information is asked to call the York or Poquoson Sheriff's Department at 757-890-3621. 757-890-3621. Of course, you can always contact the National Association for Missing and/or Exploited Children at missingkids.com, or contact them at 1-800-THE-LOST. 1-800-THE-LOST. Lenny Kane III goes by the name of Trey. That being said, we're going to move on to what the hell. What the hell? I got a couple of stories, y'all, that I definitely want to share with you. Big Ruben and I have talked on the air and off the air about lots of things, but what I want to bring up now is the death penalty. The death penalty. What the hell is going on with the death penalty? Now, I am on record of being on the fence. Depending on when you talk to me, you might get a different answer with regards to my feelings. When you get people who kill children, or kill old people, or kill defenseless people, you're more likely to get me to agree in those cases. But what if I told you that Texas has executed someone who has proven to be innocent? Would that change your mind on the death penalty as a whole? If you knew that one innocent person was executed for every 10 guilty people, would it change your mind? A team in Texas, a Columbia University team, says that an argument has now been made for a Texas person, Carlos De Luna, who was executed in 1989 for the stabbing death at a gas station 6 years earlier. He has been proven as innocent. So my question is this, and I'll put this on the Facebook page for you guys to kind of review this and see what your thoughts are. But I won't get into the specifics of Mr. DeLuna's case, other than to say that he was found to be innocent. They had some circumstantial information that they were used to convict him, but he has since been found to be innocent some 4 years after he was given the lethal injection. I'm going to start with Carlton Banks on this one. If you knew for every 10 people that were executed, one of them would later be proven to be innocent, would that be enough for you to abolish the death penalty altogether?
I have to say no. And the reason I'm saying no is it wasn't the death penalty that found him guilty. It was the judicial system that found him guilty, and the flaws in that. The punishment had nothing to do with what the jury or jurors said this man committed this crime for. So, no, I'm not totally for or against the death penalty. However, in this situation, it wasn't the death penalty that killed the man. What killed the man is the judicial system and the flaws that are in it. Now, I read that same article, and they pointed out a lot of flaws that a simple defense attorney, a first-year defense attorney, should have been able to get this man out of jail. You have eyewitnesses that said the man was wearing one thing, he was wearing something else. You had a witness saying he looked like this man looked totally different. You know, the problem here was the system wanted to hurry and find the right person or find somebody and commit them to the crime. That was the problem here. This wasn't the death penalty.
Carl, Big Rope.
Texas. Well, they already messed up down there. Yeah, in my opinion, or some things. However, the death penalty, they do use it more than most states, than all states actually. Would it change? Does it change my opinion on death penalty? Definitely not. I agree. It is a judicial system that lost. You can't give a public defender 5 different trials to go at one time. There are a lot of people graduating from law school. If you can't find them a job as a public defender, something is wrong with you. And it sucks. But the simple fact is, so basically we're going to not do away with anybody because of making a mistake one time. Now, if they use death penalty on 100 people and then 50 of them were not guilty, completely different story. 1 out of 200, I'm sorry to hear it, but no, the death penalty is it is what it is, and we need it.
All right. Well, let me put it to you like this and make it a little bit more personal for you. It's Big Rube's brother who has been wrongly convicted, and you find out 5 years later after he has been executed for the crime that he did not commit, that he was in fact innocent, like you knew all along, but the state and the jury decided that he was guilty. Does that change anything for you because it was your own brother? And I use that obviously, for argument's
Yes.
sake. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No,
but you
I
understand where I'm
completely
coming
understand.
from. Okay.
Yeah, and no. I feel like personally, if it's your brother, well, if it's my brother, I would be there. And like Banks said, there are obvious things that were wrong. Not saying I can get there and become an attorney, but it's just one of those things that, yeah, eventually the probability of it happening to a member of my family is not high, but the possibility is there. Am I going to just completely destroy all my beliefs because something happened to someone in my family? You can't do that. You can't do your beliefs on a belief by belief or on a thing by thing basis. I don't believe in that.
Right there with you. Like I said, the biggest thing that I had a problem with is the fact that the jury, the court system, the legal system failed this gentleman, not the punishment. And that's where I think is the biggest problem.
Here's what I'll say to this. I mean, like I said, you might get me on a different day and I'll feel differently about the death penalty. But anytime someone is killed, murdered, whether it be by a dude in the street or the government, that's a problem. Morally, that's a problem. I get the whole eye for an eye thing, but for me, one innocent being executed is more than enough because this man didn't do it.
Right.
You read the article, Carlton. You know that he was a petty thief. He had a lot of issues. This guy was guilty of a whole lot of stuff. He wasn't guilty of murder, and he shouldn't have been executed. And the fact that a lot of balls were dropped, the system failed him.
Right.
And whenever you have government-sanctioned murder, and they sanction the murder of an innocent person, that's something that I have a hard time rationalizing and moving on to the next case as if that one didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, I understand what you're saying. But again, are we arguing the fact that the man was put to death, or are we going to argue the fact that he was found guilty when in fact he was innocent? See, the one led to the other.
Correct.
He was found guilty
Right.
when he was in fact innocent.
Right.
Had he been found innocent, no wrong case, no wrong death.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And now, again, I don't know his family background. I don't know what type of lawsuit or litigations they can open up against the state of Texas or
Right.
whatever province that they were in.
Yeah, but none of that's going to matter.
That's not going to matter.
He's
now.
gone.
He's gone, right. But there's still a state restitution that was enacted overall.
Here's
So-
my question. He is one who we know of. Took us 23 years, but we know that he was innocent.
Right.
So my question is, how many innocents from states like Texas and Florida and Virginia and some of the Bible Belt states like Georgia and Mississippi and Louisiana, I don't know their death penalty procedure specifically, but just, those are typically conservative states. I'm guessing they have the death penalty. How many of these people, and the first name that comes to mind in Georgia is Troy Davis. There was a lot of information out there that said that Troy Davis was innocent.
Right.
And he was executed. And there was information towards his innocence while he was still living. So my question is, we're going to execute people because we think they're guilty, but we don't really know. I mean, there's no smoking gun.
Well,
We're going to execute people on circumstantial evidence when there wasn't, a video of him pulling the trigger where we can see him actually do it. Really?
Well, but see, once again, I think your point is valid, but that's more on the judicial side of the house.
Yeah, but
It's not,
tell this guy's family or Troy Davis's family that it was judicial. They don't care. They just know this dude ain't here no more. They don't care where it came from and why he's not here.
and this is about to be real mean.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna say it.
We gonna be. I mean, just go ahead.
And somebody gonna hit me hard, and that's fine. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice the few to save the many, because of
that's
everyone.
that's what war is about.
Well,
So
yeah,
I understand the
but
concept.
everyone that unfortunately, is found innocent too late. There are 100 that are not, and then if we just start not killing.
That's
if we
what
start,
it is.
If we start
sanctioned murder is what
if
it
we
is.
start not doing this, then those molesters, those cold-blooded killers, those guys who will get out, or they escape, and they could possibly go kill more people. And if I have to give my life to save a whole bunch of other people, then it is what it is. And that's kind of how that's how I see it. It sucks. It really does suck, because unfortunately, in every shooting, there's always something in the crossfire.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not trying to be, heartless or anything, but nobody's perfect. We should not be expected to be perfect. And really, it's unfortunate, but I mean, what do you want me to do? If eventually it may happen to me and my family, am I supposed to change my beliefs because it hit me harder? It hit me hard.
You know what? This case reminds me of another What the Hell You Had, where the guy was supposed to be deported and his country didn't want him back.
Yep.
And we didn't know what to do with the guy, and he goes off on a killing spree.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, I said we should have put his ass in jail.
Right.
Now, that to me would have been the right thing to do, because, hey, his country doesn't want him. We can't afford him. Why are we going to spend taxpayers and try to keep this man
I
in
wouldn't
track?
put him in jail.
Well, this guy, we spent the money, we put him in jail, but again, we're arguing the death penalty versus the judicial system.
And the judicial
And the
system,
judicial
is the
system
problem.
in both cases failed. We need to have something in place that says,
Well,
if you're an illegal immigrant, we got to do something with you.
I mean, I guess the appeals system is what should have been able to find Carlos de Luna innocent of this crime, but we know he had inept representation and things of that sort, which was part of the problem. So we're gonna leave that there. I've got a couple of other what the hells that I'd like to get to.